on your side. This is WNCT 9 News at 11.
Governor Roy Cooper declares a state of emergency as Ophelia makes its way across the east tonight. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Angie Quesada. Well, we have team coverage for you tonight, tracking this storm all across the east. 9 on your side's Claire Curry is in North Topsail Beach. Our Davis Supis is in Washington, and our Aaron Jenkins is there in downtown Greenville. All of them will join us in just a moment for a look at the latest conditions there and how people there are reacting. But we start with Storm Team 9 Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson in the Weather Center tonight. Jerry, you have been hard at work all day and all week to that matter tracking the system. So what's the latest at this hour?
Well, the very latest set of tracking coordinates now fresh in from the National Hurricane Center, Angie. And as we head throughout the course of the night tonight, we are going to continue to see Ophelia basically make its final approach into eastern North Carolina. On the Live by 9 camera currently, you can obviously see some wet roadways here in Greenville, and we have widespread showers and thunderstorms working their way onshore. The outermost rain bands have long since been pushing into eastern North Carolina. Our current winds are impressive, too. Wind gusts around 50 miles an hour or close to it down south in New Bern and Craven County. We have wind gusts of 32 miles an hour out east towards Cape Hatteras. Here's the center of circulation. It's located south of Carteret County and will eventually push onshore in Carteret and Onslow County, probably in about another 5-6 hours or so once it makes landfall. Now, the good piece of news at 11 is that after a rapid period of strengthening earlier today, the strengthening appears to have leveled off, so it's still technically a tropical storm with max sustained winds at 70 miles an hour currently. It still only has about 4 miles an hour more to go to reach hurricane status, and it's still technically over warm water, so it wouldn't be impossible for it to make the grade as a hurricane, but the window is now beginning to close. The system will be onshore by daybreak tomorrow morning and then work its way through central and eastern North Carolina through lunchtime, and then it should be out of here once we head into Saturday night, and by Sunday, sunshine is back with us from start to finish. So that's kind of the overall time frame. As far as the totals are concerned, we'll likely see anywhere from 5 to 7 inches of storm total rainfall across Dare, Hyde, Pamlico, Carteret, down into Onslow County, 3 to 5 inches right here in Pitt County. Our wind gusts will be impressive, near hurricane force in Dare, Hyde, Pamlico, Carteret, and Onslow County, and some 40 to 60 mile per hour gusts in Pitt, Greene, Lenoir, and Wayne counties. Also, keep in mind the tornado potential will be increasing overnight. We'll get more specific about storm surge in just a few minutes. Angie?
All right, Jerry, thank you. Well, let's start taking a look at conditions across the east. 9 on your sides, Aaron Jenkins is standing by in downtown Greenville. Our Davis Supis has the latest for us in Washington, but we start down the coast in North Topsail Beach, where we find 9 on your sides, Claire Curry. Claire, what are you seeing there?
Yeah, Angie, I'm here in North Topsail Beach just before you cross over the bridge onto the island. We moved over this way just to be a little bit safer. Right now, I'm under like an awning, but you can see the wind and the rain has kind of been hitting me sideways from where I was earlier today. It kind of wasn't doing that. I'm going to have my videographer pan over to the parking lot. You can kind of see the rain coming down, kind of dancing across the parking lot sideways. The wind and rain have been kind of going all day today. They haven't really stopped, but the rain and wind have both been kind of changing directions throughout the day, either coming down really hard, really light, misting. It's a little bit of everything. It's definitely changing conditions out here, and officials just want to remind people to be cautious if they're out in this weather or on the roadways. We have seen some ponding on the roads, and they just want to advise drivers not to drive through that. Now, they have declared a state of emergency in Onslow County, and they have their emergency operations center standing by in the case that this storm progresses. Live in North Topsail Beach, Claire Curry, 9 on your side.
All right, Claire, stay safe. Thank you. Let's now head to 9 on your sides. Davis Supis, he's joining us now live in Washington. Davis, how's it out there where you are?
Well, that's right, Angie. We actually had to move up from the water where we were just a little bit ago, as the water has been steadily rising and it's approaching those docks and gazebos on the water as we speak. Ophelia has been hitting us here in Washington head on all night. It's been heavy gusts of rain, some pretty impressive wind gusts as well. There's currently a storm warning signal flag out right now, and we see nobody along the boardwalk here as as the night continues on. Now, it's getting a little bit nicer here and there. We're seeing some peak windows of some lighter winds and no rain, but for the most part, it's been sideways wind and rain the entire time here in Beaufort County. We'll continue to keep you updated as Ophelia makes landfall here in Washington. Davis Supis, 9 on your side.
All right, Davis, thanks. We continue our coverage more inland now. 9 on your sides. Aaron Jenkins is in downtown Greenville. And Aaron, there was a lot happening there tonight.
Yeah, Angie, that's right. There really is a lot happening down here. A lot of people have been on the streets. They've been in their restaurants. We've actually seen long lines for people waiting to get into some of these bars here in downtown. It almost just kind of looks like a normal Friday night with a little bit of rain and wind gusts at times. I'm going to have my photographer pan over here to the light so you can see some of that rainfall coming down. We've had some periods where it's been heavier, sometimes where it's slacked off, kind of like what we're seeing right now. We've also had those wind gusts blowing in. We just had a couple right before we got on air with you guys. We also checked in with the Tar River earlier this evening. Levels are staying pretty consistent there. It is still contained to the river area and not coming up into the parking lot. Traffic here in downtown Greenville is still moving pretty steadily. There's nothing crazy going on besides just a lot of foot traffic out here. People enjoying their Friday night in downtown, but we'll continue to check in on these conditions here in Greenville. I'm Aaron Jenkins. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Aaron, thank you. Along the Outer Banks, storm surge is a threat on the Outer Banks tonight. Dare County emergency management officials say the waters were rough earlier today, and they continue to urge everyone to stay out of the water. As officials warn of the storm surge, some people visiting say they aren't scared.
Well, storm surge is life-threatening conditions that bring rapidly rising water across normally dry ground. So we really want people to be aware of it. We need people to be mindful of it. They need to protect their property.
No, we're staying put. We feel safe where we are, and we want to get our whole weekend. So we're just riding it out. We have plenty of food, plenty of drink, lots of games, keep us busy.
Dare County officials believe most visitors on the Outer Banks have left their rental homes. And staying along the Outer Banks, State Department of Transportation crews say Highway 12 on the Outer Banks is still passable. This is a look at what the road looks like earlier today. Officials say there is water and sand on the road. They urge you to stay off the road there, but if you have to go out, please use caution. And when we look at road conditions across the east right now, you can see not too many incidents to report. There is one incident down in Craven County and one down in Surf City. Most of the major highways and interstates are staying clear and green at this time. Of course, we'll be continuing to keep track of this map and bring you the latest if things deteriorate. And checking in now on the airports in the east, Pitt Greenville has one cancellation tomorrow morning to Charlotte. That's the 8:30 departure. In New Bern, EWN has canceled all of their flights to Charlotte through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And OAJ in Jacksonville has also canceled their 6:30 flight to Charlotte. Of course, we'll continue to follow the flight boards and bring you the latest. Power outages are also a major concern when it comes to storms making landfall in North Carolina, and we have the latest numbers for you right now. Let's take a look at them now. You see this map there on your screen. A few of the areas we mentioned at 10 o'clock are starting to get better. Duplin County has 1,600 power outages at last check. Lenoir County also getting back near blue now, thankfully, and Onslow, Craven, and Bertie counties are also seeing a number of outages. And if your power does go out, you can still check the weather with the Storm Team 9 app. There you can set up alerts to warn you of any severe weather in your area. There's also an interactive map to see when it's going to rain even on your street. You can get to it right now. Just download it for free on Google Play or Apple App Stores. Still ahead on WNCT 9 News at 11, the state budget is finally passed. We'll take you to Raleigh as Governor Roy Cooper makes his decision on what to do with it. Plus, we'll continue our coverage of Ophelia. This is a live look at Greenville right now. You can see the rain is coming down. We even hear it here in the studio. We'll take you live across the east once again in about 12 minutes.
And it's not just the rain, Angie. Our tornado potential will be increasing as we head deeper into the overnight. The center of circulation for Ophelia is about 5 hours away from landfall. We'll talk about the details coming up next.